There are promises we make to God in the middle of pain. Promises whispered through tears, born out of despair, out of urgency, out of the need to prove our faith when everything seems to be falling apart. Promises that come from a sincere heart, but still a human one. We promise to change. We promise to be better. We promise never to fall into that same mistake, that same habit, that same person again. We promise to pray more, to seek more, to stay faithful, to never doubt. We promise to surrender everything, and for a while, we even manage to. But then the wind changes, life moves on, the fire of emotion fades, and the promise that once felt unbreakable begins to weaken. The heart that once burned with love grows distracted. The faith that once blazed like fire turns into ashes. And what we told God with such certainty slowly fades away in the noise of everyday life. The truth is, it's easy to make promises in the valley, because in the valley, all we want is a way out. And in desperation, promises often sound like bargains. Lord, if you do this for me, I promise that I will. He isn't moved by deals, he is moved by truth. And still, he listens to every word, every vow, every tear made before him, even when he knows we might not be able to keep them. When you make a vow to God, do not delay in fulfilling it. He has no pleasure in fools. Fulfill your vow. Ecclesiastes 5:4. It's a reflection of our limits, of how emotional and fragile we really are. Peter also made a promise. He looked into the eyes of Jesus and said, I will never deny you. But that very same night, he denied him 3 times. And when the rooster crowed, Peter wept bitterly, not because Jesus rejected him, but because he felt the weight of a promise he couldn't keep. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Matthew 26:41. Of saying, I'll never do it again, and then falling again. Of promising faithfulness, but returning to the same place we swore we'd never go back to. But God's love is not like ours. He doesn't measure faithfulness by our falls, but by our willingness to get back up. Peter failed, but Jesus called him back. Jonah ran away, but God sent a fish to rescue him. David fell, but was still called a man after God's own heart. If we are faithless, he remains faithful, for he cannot deny himself. 2 Timothy 2:13. He uses them to show us how much we need him, because the weight we feel is not punishment, it's an invitation to return, to surrender, to depend. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. That gentle voice reminding you, you promised, remember? It's not accusation, it's love calling you home. God doesn't bring up the past to humiliate you. He does it to restore you. Some people have carried the weight of broken promises for years. Promises of ministry, of purity, of prayer, of change. And because of guilt, they've drifted away. They think God gave up on them. But the truth is, he never did. The Lord is compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love. Psalm 103:8. Because grace isn't an excuse to fall. It's the strength to rise again. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. And even if you've broken it 1,000 times, he's still willing to heal it. The promises we fail to keep are reminders that we need his mercy every single day. And maybe the true fulfillment of a promise is realizing this, that we are not strong, but he is. That we are not always faithful, but he always remains faithful. The weight of the promise becomes lighter when we understand that God doesn't expect perfection, but honesty. He prefers a genuine confession over a vow that will never be lived out. He prefers honest tears over rehearsed words. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. How many times have you promised not to go back and yet you did? And even so, here you are, listening to these words. That alone is proof that God still wants you close, that he still calls you, even knowing all the times you've fallen. Because God's love is not based on performance. He doesn't love you because you promised to change. He loves you because he is love. And his love is the only power capable of truly transforming the human heart. But God demonstrates his own love for us in this. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Romans 5:8. You don't need to hide from his presence. God hasn't rejected you. He just wants you to come back. No masks, no grand speeches, just truth. This time, don't say anything. Don't make another promise. Just return. Let your silence say, I need you. And in that silence, God will begin something new inside you. He doesn't call you to keep impossible vows, but to live a real relationship. One where even your failures draw you closer to him. The weight that once crushed you will become a memory, a reminder of where you fell and where he lifted you up. Peter denied Jesus, but he was the same Peter who preached at Pentecost. Jonah ran away, but he was the same Jonah who preached and saved a whole city. David failed, but he was the same David who wrote psalms that still heal hearts today. God doesn't use perfect people. He uses broken ones who've learned to depend on him. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. Psalm 73:26. Live in the awareness that grace is what sustains you. And every time you fail, remember, God doesn't walk away, he draws near. Because his love isn't based on your faithfulness, but on his own. The weight of the promise is only too heavy when you try to carry it alone. But when you place that weight in God's hands, he turns guilt into growth, weakness into testimony, failure into a fresh start. Maybe you haven't kept what you promised, but God will still keep what he spoke about you. And that is grace. What he wants now isn't another promise. It's simply a heart willing to try again. Because every story of restoration begins when someone, tired of promising, finally decides to surrender. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O God, you will not despise. Psalm 51:17.